Hello, is my video the right way around? Hi, this is Marina Newington, founder of PowerSystem, a 5-step process designed to give clarity, confidence, and energy to entrepreneurial women looking to make life's big decisions. I just had to start again on my live. I'm very sorry for that because I was upside down apparently. Hopefully this is working now, and if not, then I will rotate it again. Can I have a thumbs up? I see some Brittany's watching. Am I facing the correct way around this time? Oh, sorry, technical difficulties. The joys of being live. Okay, so today's topic is, I'm not getting, okay, well, I'm gonna assume that I'm facing the right way this time. Okay, today's topic is 5 steps to, sorry, I got all distracted. 5 steps to fast track your productivity and get you more focus and more time to do all the things that you really need to do. Oh my God, it's still the wrong way around. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Right. Well, it's not playing ball with me today, so it's just going to have to be like this, and this is the best that we can do. Hopefully now I'm not landscape, but hopefully it's working. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay, like I say, you have to roll with the punches when you're going live. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to, I have my notes here because I want to make sure that I give you all the good advice today. All right. So what I want to talk to you about today is that having a workspace that is organized and free of clutter is, thank you, I hear it, now it's right. Having a workspace that is organized and free of clutter is going to supercharge your productivity because you're not going to be distracted by all the things that you see going around you, and you're not going to be hunting around trying to find things, and you're going to get so much more time, and you're not going to be distracted unnecessarily. So I'm actually, one of the reasons that I want to talk about this today is because I'm going to be doing a 5-day challenge in my Facebook group, Women's Entrepreneurial Network, which is all about how to turbo boost your productivity and get more focus and more time doing this very same thing. So I'm going to touch on 5 steps today, but if you really want to get into it and you like what I'm saying, then come along for the challenge. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to give you so many strategies. Okay, but let's get started with today's. Okay, so clearing up, right? Getting rid of the clutter, clearing your clutter. It's about so much more than just getting rid of some sticky Post-it notes or some junk that's sitting around on your desk. It's about getting efficient about what you do. So I'm talking about establishing a workflow. What do I mean by that? So a workflow is the things that I work on the most need to be close to me. They need to be accessible to me. Whereas the things that I use less frequently, they need to be further away. And also, if I do lots of printing, for example, I need to be able to access my printer readily. But if I do, say, a lot of videoing, I need to have some sort of video set up regularly that I can access and then translate. So whatever it is for you is figuring out what your workflow is. And then another really important thing is developing what your zones are, right? Your zones of work. So for me, for example, I'm sitting right now talking to you in my video space. I have a big open window in front of me. I have a tripod that decided to fail me today, and I am now in portrait rather than landscape, but oh well. But in any case, I have a setup here in order to shoot my videos. But on over there, I have my desktop and I have my board and I have the areas where I do those things. I have a space where I keep my files. I have a space where I keep my to-do. I have a space where I keep my mail. I have, all these different zones of things that I have. So these are one of the other things that we really need to look at. So, and the last one, which is really fantastic, is about personalizing your space and making it your own. So it's great that it's free of clutter and free of distraction so that you can really focus and get really super productive. But you want it to express you. You want to be able to come into your work area and feel really happy, right? Do you want to feel happy when you come into your work area? Give me a thumbs up if you want to feel happy when you come into your work area. So you want it to look beautiful and you want it to be personal. So we're going to talk about that too. So let's dive in to the 5 steps right now. Okay, so step 1 is you need to set an intention. Okay, so first we're going to set an intention. And what do I mean by this? You need to accept the fact that things aren't going to get done while you're doing this. All right, I know you're busy. I know you have so much to do. We all have so much to do, but you set the intention that this is a priority and you're going to get this done because you want to be more productive. And you know that this stuff is holding you back. You know that you can't focus and you know that you're getting distracted. So first you need to set an intention, right? You're going to set the intention that you are going to spend time on this and other things aren't going to get done while you're doing it. Okay, so you know and you are aware up front that there are certain tasks that aren't going to get done while you are sorting and organizing this out for yourself. And you decide what those are. And this is about you prioritizing, okay? You need to prioritize. All right, number 2 is to define the problem areas, okay? So we need to figure out where the problems are in our workspace. So, are there papers lying out around all over the place? Are there sticky notes everywhere? Do we have old things that we don't really use anymore, but we keep there just in case? You know, what is it that's the problem? What is causing you the clutter? Do you have big piles of everything? I am a piler, I have to admit. I make big piles. And, you know, these piles, they're like death. You know, you look at them and you think, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I have so much. You know, you look at this pile and it can be really intimidating. Is that the problem? You know, what are your areas that are actually causing the problem? And here's a top tip. Sometimes it really helps if you just take a photo. Yeah, that's really old-fashioned. No one does that anymore. Now you do this to take a photo, right? If you take a photo of your workspace and then look at it, sometimes it's more apparent when you're looking at it as a picture where the areas are that are causing you your distraction. So that is number 2, okay? Number 2 is to make sure that you, sorry, I just got distracted because I saw that Cheryl's here. Hi, Cheryl. Number 2 is to make sure that you figure out what your areas are, right, that are causing you all the clutter. Okay, now we're on to step 3. And step 3 is design the flow for your workspace. Okay, now I'm going to read a few things off to you because I want you to really get this. Where do all the things go? And where are the things that you need near you? Okay, so your files, are they something that you access regularly, or are they something that you only look at once in a blue moon? What is going to be the zone where the files are? Where do they go? What about your stationery? Where does your stationery go, your supplies? You don't need to have that all on top of you. You need to have a pot with pens, and you maybe need your notebooks, maybe you need some sticky notes. I don't know what you need, your stapler, but whatever it is that you need to have that near you. But the other things need to be further away. What are some other things? Do you keep a whole bunch of emergency items around for just in case? Do you really need to have those near you? Do they need to be in your workspace? They be in a different area? You know, all of these things you need to think about. What are your different zones and what are your different areas? And then really get intentional about mapping it out, okay? Who's gonna do this? Can I get a thumbs up from anyone who knows what their different zones are and knows what I'm talking about? Does anybody relate to this idea of having different zones in your workspace rather than just piling everything on top? Okay, fantastic. So the next thing we're going to talk about, step 4, is to start sorting, okay? we need to start sorting out all our things. So remember I spoke about all those piles that we have, right? The piles need to be sorted. There are all sorts of things that we have that we just don't need to have. So for example, you know, all those things that you have that you can digitize that don't need to be sitting around. So if you have all sorts of business cards, here's a top tip for you. Here's a really good one, okay? If you have business cards that are sitting around and, you know, you keep thinking, what am I going to do with these cards? What am I going to do? I don't want to put them away. I don't want to throw them away. First of all, you can enter them into your computer in contacts, but here's a good idea. Go into LinkedIn and add them as connections, okay? Now you're done. Now you don't need to have these cards just taking up space. And now you have LinkedIn connections where you can start forming a connection and you can start networking, and that's only going to take your business forward. So that's what you do with those things. But there are all sorts of things on your desk that I'm sure you could digitize. So take a look at that and start putting those things in a pile. You're going to schedule time separately to take care of that. That's going to be a task for you to do. But, you know, put that to one side. Then what about all of your what about all of the things that you need to file? Okay, all the things that you don't need to have there and that can go into a file, put them to the side, put them in that pile, and you're going to be able to file them and they don't have to sit there on your desk distracting you. What about your to-do pile? Okay, do you have maybe a work to-do pile and a life to-do pile? What is your solution for that? Maybe you don't have one. Maybe you need to buy something. Maybe you need to buy some sort of desk storage space that you don't have currently. Okay, an in-out thing. But it's really good to have the things that are current and that you're working on as part of your workflow close at hand. For me, for example, I keep a hanging file folder separately from all the rest of my folders on my desk level of the projects that I'm currently working on so that I can easily access them and I can find them really quickly. Whereas other things that I just look at every now and then for reference, or if I'm working with a client and I think, oh, this would be a great thing to share with them, a great resource, then I go back and I look at that separately. Okay, so you want to start sorting everything out. All right, so now you've looked at what the problem areas are, okay, and you figured out where the clutter is coming from. You've sorted everything out and you've put it into piles, but you've put it into sections and areas. You've determined what your best workflow is and what your best zones of work are. And you start now by sorting it all out according to these things. So take everything off your desk. Now you take everything off your desk and you're going to give it a good clean. You're going to give it a spray, you're going to give it a polish, you're going to make it all shine, you're going to spray some Febreze, some Oust, it's all going to smell good. And before you put anything back, okay, before you put anything back, I want you to really think about, do I need this? Does anybody relate to this? Does anyone relate? Can I get a heart or a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about, as opposed to just putting something back just because? May I need it? What do I really need this? And really think about it. And if you don't, then it can go either into your file area or it can go into your throw out area. Okay. So after you do all these things and you start putting things back, and if you need to get something like an organizer, you can get an organizer and you can get all of these sorts of things. Then step 5 is to personalize it. And I love this bit and I think it's really important, and don't forget about it. So in my workspace, I have photos of my kids, you know, because my kids are my main priority and they're the most important thing to me and I adore them. And when I look at them, it makes me happy. I have like some pictures here. If I flip the camera around, I might flip the camera around actually and show you this. Can I do this? Yeah, there you go. So check it out. You see, I have these gorgeous, there's the tripod that failed me, gorgeous pictures of my little kids. There we go. And I look at them and they make me really happy. So this is a way that I personalize my space, and it makes me feel really good. Another thing that I like to do is put in some fresh flowers. But when they start dying, you have to get rid of them. You can't be sitting around with those dead flowers, because that is really bad feng shui, and that is just not good energy. So you don't want dead flowers. But it's really nice to have a plant or some flowers or something alive and growing and giving you oxygen, and something really pretty to look at. So there are all sorts of things that you can do to personalize your area, and you can be creative and you can come up with all sorts of different things. Okay, so those were the 5 steps to get really productive. And now I'd like to tell you that if you liked what you heard, and if you want to hear more about it, then I would love you to join me for the challenge that I'm running in my Facebook group, where you are going to get super, super productive by getting rid of all this stuff. No more distractions, no more lack of focus, no time suck from ruffling around, endlessly looking for things, because everything is going to be where everything is supposed to be. Okay, and this is going to start on the 24th of February, and I would love you guys to join me. It's all free. It's in my Facebook group. There's going to be a link to it in the notes here. So it's starting on the 24th of February, and it's for 5 days, and it's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to give you a lot more detail and a lot more tips about all of these things, and we're going to go into depth, and we're going to get you focused, and we're going to get you supercharged and ready to make things happen this year, okay? And this is not going to be an excuse for why things don't happen, and this isn't going to be something that's holding you back. Right, now I have time for a few questions before I start talking about this great free resource that I have for you guys. I'm so excited by this one, but I'm going to take a couple of questions first. Let's see. Okay, can you tell me more about the challenge? What time is it each day? How do I sign up? Okay, so the challenge, listen, this is online, so you can come to it at any time you want. I have to set up the event for it to start at 8 a.m. That does not mean you have to be there at 8 a.m. Every day there's going to be a video posted in the Facebook group with instructions, and every day you're going to get an email. I'm going to give you a link below here, and you're going to be able to register for it. And every day you're going to get an email with all the details of what that day's activities are, and what the focus is, and what you're supposed to be doing. And so you're going to get the email, you're going to get the video, and you're going to get any questions and answers that you want, where I'm going to explain everything to you. But you can obviously do it all in your own time. That is the beauty of online. And it's going to be the 24th to the 28th. Okay. Next question. Tips on how to stay organized after, so you don't end up in the same situation. That is a great question. Okay, so you've done all this work, and you've cluttered up, you've taken off the clutter, and you've cleaned up your area, and it's all going so well. What happens then, right? What happens when things start slowly creeping back? Okay. What you need to do is make sure, remember we spoke about last time about plan your planning, okay? So you have to reassess. Oh, sorry, my technology is failing me. I'm so sorry about this. You have to plan your planning, so you have to reassess what you're doing, okay? So every month, or when you do your monthly planning session, incorporate that into your monthly planning session. So take a look around you and see, oh my God, are things starting to creep up again? And do something about it. Say, you know what? This isn't good. I'm going to reassess. And you already know what your workflows are, so it ought to be a really quick and easy fix. Okay, so are there any more questions? Do we have any more questions? I was trying to keep it to time. Oh, I kept it to time, yay. I was trying to go a little bit shorter than I did last time. Great. Okay, so now let me just tell you about this amazing free resource I have for you. It's called 6 Steps to Turbo Boost Your Productivity. And what this is about is the 80-20 exercise. Have any of you heard about this? It's called the Pareto principle. And basically, it says that 20% of your actions account for 80% of your results. You're welcome, Britt. They account for 80% of your results. So you will find this all over the place and all over the world in a million examples in life, in business, in finance, everywhere. So basically what this exercise helps you do is hone in on the 20% of your activities that generate the 80% of your revenue or your biggest productivity. So then you focus on the 20% of your activities that generate 80% of your results, okay? The resource, the link to it is down below, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you next week. It's going to be 3 hours later. It's going to be at 4 p.m. because I am going skiing for half term, and I will talk to you once I get off the mountain. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Bye.